Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as, investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, December 19th. We're going to take a look at Tilray today. So Tilray chart kind of cluttered here, but we'll zoom in a minute. But I did want to point out that there was this gap here that we had identified that was a bit old. This day when it jumped up almost 15% back in July, and it finally has filled that gap with the recent price action. So now it's come through, filled it down here, and then sort of established that as a support level. I'm going to turn that blue. Since the gap's filled, we don't need to note it anymore. And now has come back through and refilled it, if you will, to the upside. So it's just, it left the gap, filled it to the downside, and then has emerged back through the upper end of the gap. So I'm going to take that level off as well. Now, what I'm looking for if I'm a Tilray bull is I would love to see it establish here right around the $2 level, right? At least not come back down below this 193 support level that we have. Now, will it? It's certainly possible. It's quite a volatile stock, but it has spent a lot of time in that gap, right? Established a lot of price action in there. And now it's seeming as though it may want to make a move. So I'm interested to see what happens now that that gap has been filled and then it's retraced its way back through it to the upside. Now flipping over here to the Think or Swim study, we can see where it is in the channel. Now we do have a trigger and fire that happened while it was hugging the mid-range of the channel, which is my ideal setup. And then but nothing really happened right on that fire. It was a relatively brief fire, and then it did a bit of a short trigger, again, a re-trigger, if you will, and now it's refiring. So I'm wondering if this is signaling maybe the air quotes real move, since that initial trigger and fire basically went nowhere. So that has sort of my interest peaked as well. It's not seeming like it's leaning strongly in either direction on the histogram so far. It's picking up bullish momentum a little bit, but it's staying very, very close to the baseline. If we zoom out here, you can see back here, right, these are pretty solid movements on the histogram compared to this, which is just sort of like barely there, kind of nearish the baseline. So I don't know. It has me wondering, are we approaching a move of some sort? The question is always, which way does it move? But the trigger and refire, as it still is toward the mid-range of the channel, is pretty interesting to me. Now, if it does come down, like I said, I look for it to hold that 197 and that 193. If it slips through there, at least the semi-good news is it, like I said, I put in a lot of price action in that gap. So, there's probably a level. I'm not going to put it in just now because it's already quite cluttered, but there's probably a level here on like 184. That looks pretty solid to me, and maybe even one kind of close in at like 190. So, this is sort of, as you can see here, a theme with Tilray is it ends up with a lot of levels, and a lot of them are sort of tied in, which looks better when you zoom in to the intraday, right? You're like, oh, there's a level there. And I'm not staring at 1,000 levels. I can zoom out and sort of look at 3 levels. But when you're on the daily, this is just what it ends up looking like. So one other thing that I'm going to put in, if it takes shape, let's see. I'm wondering if there's a bit of an up channel here that we could kind of keep an eye on, which just makes it more cluttered, but so it goes. But it's sort of established once here, here, and then here and here. So it's, maybe 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top-ish. But we'll see if that continues to take shape or where that sort of replaces itself, if you will, if it continues to work up that channel. It'd be nice to see it sort of bang into both of these bounds again and see if it respects it or if it stretches it or if it completely just busts the channel. But yeah, we'll see. But these are the levels that I'm watching at the moment. That, like I said, that sort of like hold around the 2 area. If it does start to build 203, 208, 211, 218, those are all, resistance levels that we've had on the chart for quite some time. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.